Hey, what's up, everybody? Today's Tuesday? Sorry I missed your last couple days. I've been trying to focus on a few other things to get this project, to the next level. There were a few things that I really wanted to talk to you guys about today, but unfortunately, the plan's not in place just yet. So we're gonna have to take another week or so to continue to evaluate and see what we could do to get that rolling for us. Um, we are pushing forward, we're grinding. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and the more NFTs we get sold, the better position we're going to be in to rapidly increase our investments. So, as mentioned today, we got 185, almost 186 coinos to give away. So I'm going to go ahead and get that randomizer started, and let's see who's going to win. Today we're going to actually draw until we do have a winner. The Mint wallet can't win, and the Treasury wallet's not going to be able to win. So good luck, everybody. Don't care if it takes 20 draws. We're going to find a winner today. Um, let's see. So we got the first spin, we got the second spin, and we got the third spin. So 2470. Let's see who that is. Wonder if this is going to work. This is kind of how 2470. It's kind of how I was able to. All right, here we go. Look it up. So basically, I just pull up one of the assets that are owned, and I'll just adjust these numbers. 2470. Let's see. And looks like we got a winner, whoever this guy is. Oh, you got quite a bit of them, actually. Nice. You got 49 of them. Kicking ass. Excuse my language. I made this kid appropriate, so I didn't mean to use that language. But yeah, this is who our winner is. I just want to check something. I want to make sure that's not who won last time. So that's kind of annoying if it is, but I don't really recognize the number. I'm just going to pull up my Twitter real quick, so I apologize for the delay. Otherwise, another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, let me get this off the screen here. Another thing I wanted to talk about is our new earning distribution. So since we started, we've been throwing all the rewards back at the holders. I think that's great value for our holders to accumulate. However, in order for our project to grow, we can't really only rely on NFT sales. So I'm going to take an approach where we're going to actually start putting some of the funds back into the project. So some of you guys may like that, some of you guys might not. But ultimately, this is a DAO, so we need people's opinions, holders' opinions, to share their insight, what they like, what they don't like. I am going to rely on you guys ultimately to make these decisions on how the project is going to move forward. Right now, I do hold majority of the sold NFTs, so I kind of still have the hammer in my possession. But I would really, really love to get some feedback and opinions from everybody on this, just mainly to make sure that we're able to continue to keep everybody happy, and that the people that are participating in this project are satisfied with the direction that we're going in. I can't find it. I gotta pull something different. I wrote it down, so excuse me for one moment. I don't know if this even shows up on my screen. If it does, hey, you get a little insight, a little look inside of what I got on my side. All right. So the winning number that won the first time was 2474. So we got 2470 this time. So definitely a different winner. Congratulations. That's what happens when you buy a few NFTs. You win a multiple. You get a chance to go win a couple times. Let me jump into this distribution here so you guys can kind of see what we got going on. I used the figures from this past week to kind of break down where we would have been at. So over this last week, we mined about 3,000 CAS tokens. It's about 600 CAS tokens to cover the electric bills and the utility costs to keep these machines on and running. As the price of the Caspa goes up, that amount of needed coins goes down. So in a sense, the better Caspa does, the more earnings we're going to be able to take in for ourselves. As you see, obviously Caspa and Coinos are relative to each other in our current setup as we move our Caspa to Coinos. And based off of this conversion from the other day, we would have gotten about 450 coinos to distribute. Based off of how we had the previous structure, we only had 385 tokens to distribute this week. So this ultimately does result in an increase of tokens to go around, but it's just going to be distributed a little differently. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing one NFT drawing, and that NFT is going to win the total drawings. Every week, we're going to go ahead and make sure that there is at least one winner, but we're going to do two drawings this moving forward. So 10% for one winner and 10% for the second winner. Ultimately, the treasury is going to be available to win, as well as any unsold NFTs will be available to win, but I will not let them win twice in 1 week, so they'll only be able to really win one time, and we'll make sure that the second drawing number is a legitimate holder of our collection. This 20% is actually coming from the host, so they're no longer going to be taking their 20%. They're using this 20% to provide for the drawings. They've only agreed to do this if we go ahead and actually contribute some of our earnings back into the actual into the project. So once we do change this earning distribution up a little bit in the future, the 20% will go back to the host, and they'll be able to redetermine how they want to distribute their tokens. So what after we take that 20% out, with the remaining 80%, we'll split that in half. 40% or 50% of the remaining will go to the collection, and the other 50% will go to the project. At 180 coins from this assumption, that's about 4 or 5 NFTs that would have sold, and the funds we would have accumulated from those sales, that we don't actually have to sell those NFTs, but we're still getting the funding from them. So it's going to be a way that we can quickly increase our value and increase our opportunities for moving into another investment or another asset class. On this presentation, I really want to go into some about real estate, some of the options that are available. I mean, I'll click through them pretty slow, but I'm not going to really go into them as they're kind of irrelevant right now. We're still working through the details. Ultimately, renting, it's nice, but really where you get your most value from renting is through asset appreciation, and that's not really going to be a direct return to our collection. So honestly, renting is great, but renting a one unit, it's not really as ideal. Hopefully you can still see the screen. Yeah, you're good. I would ideally like to sell, but ultimately we'd have to build one first, and then we can sell it, and then we'll make a little bit of money on it. I ideally would like to build a fourplex. The more doors you have, the better opportunities you're going to have. We could put up a fourplex. I got the land already. We could do that for about $400,000, sell it for about $800,000 in my area, because it would be 4 doors, about $200,000 a door, and we'd make a pretty solid return on that if we would follow this same structure. I mean, $340,000 from, I think it was $50,000 investment we would need. That's pretty great, but the county unfortunately is not letting me do that. So we're exploring the options for rezoning, which basically the county told me that they're not going to rezone the neighborhood, or excuse me, the township that I'm in, because they want to keep it rural. However, my logic makes sense to them. I could put up as many doors with using the current zoning as I could with putting up multifamilies, but it would just be way more cost effective to ultimately build multifamilies, and also a lot less structures that we would have to worry about. But it's going to be ultimately up to the neighbors and the county if they want to let me do that. I am going to pursue the rezoning process. However, we'll have to see what happens. I'm not expecting much, so there is another route that I'm looking and exploring into. I'm not going to talk much about that because ultimately I still need to get the proper legal advice in order to share that kind of information. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, especially because it could be expensive, could be a long drawn out process, and it might actually not even benefit us that much if we're not able to get it accomplished. So we'll revisit that in the future. But you can look at a couple of my slides. You can kind of see. I'll start back at the top again. This is what we're looking at for our distribution. You can pause the screen. I don't have to sit here for a while on it. If we were going to build, I would say build a modular. We don't have to waste all the time and interest putting up an actual stick-built home. We can get a modular home delivered in a couple of weeks. We just need the foundation and the utility setup. That's going to be the most effective way to go about it. If we rented that unit out, we'd only cash flow about $217 a month, which for $40,000, whatever this would be, $30,000 investment to bring in $217 a month, I'd rather go buy 2 or 3 more mining machines and double or triple the earning potential that we have right now. So just things to really realistically look at and consider. If we were to sell, we have to worry about holding costs. Who knows where the market would really sit on a single family home? It really depends upon how big we make it. 1,800 square feet, we're really only pushing 250,000. 2,500 square feet, we'd probably be closer to about 350,000. But there's a lot of variables when it comes to real estate. And if the market's not there, you get stuck with holding costs, and holding costs are an expense. So we want to keep our expenses low, and we want to improve and increase our profits. Ideally, I'd still like to approach the fourplex. We could probably put 3 or maybe even 4 fourplexes on some of the land that I've allocated for this project. And, maybe not fourplexes, maybe it's a 2plex and a 4plex and a 3plex, and I don't know, but we'd have to keep it 1 to 4 units to keep the financing ideal. Selling those was the most beneficial, and then we could utilize some of the capital, and we could even maybe build something and not even have a loan, where our return on a monthly basis would be pretty incredible. We could bring in $6,000 a month with only taxes and insurance. But anyway, we'll see how things play out. We're still exploring the options, and ideally, we're going to need your help to make the decisions that we want to make. And what else did I do here? Okay, let me see. Okay, so we all saw that the Cuckoo Games had dropped some NFTs. I went ahead and used some of the sitting funds from the RWA fund to purchase a few of these NFTs. Now, honestly, I really don't know what they're going to do, but I really believe in the developer. Adriano, he is pretty incredible. Anything he's involved in, I want to be involved in with as well. Huge shout out to them and what they're doing. So ultimately, if you guys don't like the NFTs, I personally will buy them from the project myself at cost. But I feel that that's just another great opportunity to drive in some new revenue, some new cash flow, and the cash flow from these NFTs will still follow the same split that I just introduced today with the 2 drawings and the 40-40 split. So I hate to see our capital sitting, but I do know there's a lot of potential in regards to, where the value of Coinos could go. These NFTs, they're priced in Coinos, so it doesn't matter if Coinos goes to $5 tomorrow. They're still going to be priced at the same price in Coinos. So I pulled the trigger on it. Provide some feedback. If you don't like them, after we see a few games, certainly we can make an adjustment, and I will be more than happy to buy them back from the project myself. One other thing that I was trying to explore was some food opportunities so that we can maybe even get some production going there. Unfortunately, it's a lot of regulation with the FDA and distributing and selling food products. So we're going to kind of avoid that right now, but I did find this thing is called a flow hive. I don't know if you guys know much about honey and bees. It's a pretty lucrative business. However, I really don't like getting stung. So there's this thing called the flow hive where you just turn the knob and you're able to harvest honey. Harvest about 40 pounds of honey every 2, 3, 4 weeks. So you can maybe get one of those and not sell the honey, but we could certainly jar some honey up and send it out to some of our holders and some of our collectors if that's something that they were interested. It'd be very minimal cost. I might get a flow hive for myself if it's not something that the project wants to do. But ultimately, it could just be a little small something that encourages people to participate, because we're going to try and explore all sorts of these little nuances or caveats. These aren't even the right words. Niches is the better word. That we could pursue and throw a little bit of investment money in that's going to provide some type of return back to us. Ultimately, the more we get our feet wet, the more arms we're able to put out there and get our hands into multiple investments, the better we're going to do. It takes money to make money, and ultimately I want to do things that the holders and the collectors feel are what they want as well. So I don't want to just go doing these different things and the whole collection or all the holders like, no, let's not do that. and then we lose all of our support. That's absolutely not what we're trying to do. I want the support of the community. I want to do what you guys want. And that's really the whole idea behind it. We got some land available. We have some skills that we could utilize. And there's just tons and tons of opportunity out there to try and tackle. But otherwise, hey, I'm loving the price on Coinos. I've been scooping up a lot of Coinos recently. It's a very attractive price. I don't even care if it goes down. I'm just going to buy more. Everybody's going to regret it in the next couple months if they don't have any Coinos, because I'm very, very confident that the price is very undervalued relative to the technology and what's been launching, what's coming for Coinos. I mean, this is a pretty long video. Give me some feedback. Let me know what we could do differently. How we can maybe make these videos better. Maybe if you want to bring somebody online next time. I don't know. There's whatever you guys want is what I want to do. I do apologize for not putting this video out on Sunday. I just really wanted to try and get some better information on that the fourplex and the rezoning. But unfortunately, we're kind of at a standstill with that, so we're going to continue to explore the options and what we can do. But otherwise, hey, hope you guys have a great week ahead. And remember that new distribution schedule is coming out for next Sunday's distributions. So when you see a lot lower of a figure, that's why. But next week we'll have 2 winners. So hopefully everybody's happy and we can continue to drive forward. Let's get some sales. And hey guys, have a great week. Thanks.